Hi, we're going to take a look at the FRQ on boots and waterproofing. This is from 2002's AP test, problem number 2. And this one, big old hint. We actually did this problem before when we were doing experimental design. But this one, generally when I've told you when you have an experiment that they're trying to have you design, choose the one that's the simplest and the easiest unless there is a clue. For example, completely randomized 100% Magic Hat is generally going to be the way to go unless they give you a picture where you have implied pairs, or in this case you have boots to go on 2 feet, or if you have 2 arms, like if you had something with gloves or treatments on skin and you have 2 different body parts that are equivalent that you can use to test out something, that there's some kind of way that 2 sort of play a role, then you would go toward match pair design. And this one is here for that reason. This one's going to be about boots. And we could do this one completely randomized, but that was not going to be what they were looking for in this particular problem. They realized, or they wanted you to recognize, that everybody has 2 feet where you can wear 2 boots, and so it is possible to treat one boot one way and the other boot in a different way. And so that you are your own match pair because you have a different treated boot on each foot. So that means the best way to do this problem is by doing a match pair design. Okay? And match pair design is a special form of blocking. Now the very first thing that I want you to do is read through your answer, and did you say that you're going to be using a matched pair design? Okay? So I'm looking through this answer right here. Now they're talking about, we could assign, let's see, this blocking may reduce the effects of confounding. I want to see very specifically, did you say you're going to be using a match pair? And if so, okay, give yourself a check. Now my person did not, so I'm not going to give a check for this. I want you to be able to identify the type: match pair design, randomized block design, or completely randomized design, 100% Magic Hat. The next thing that I want you to make sure that you've written down there, each subject is going to get a pair of boots. All right? Every subject, all 100 of them, are going to get their 2 boots, 1 to go on each foot. All right? So that person, this person does say that each volunteer is going to get a boot. Okay? Look at your answer. Okay? And then what's random about a match pair design, if you're your own match pair, is which one of the 2 is going to receive the treatment. All right, so there has to be the randomization component of experimental design there. So which boot is going to be treated and which one isn't, that has to be random. So we're going to use the Magic Hat procedure for that, although using a coin or something that is also random digit table, whatever you can come up with. But the Magic Hat is going to be the safest way to randomize it in an experiment. So what I'm looking for is that we're going to, okay, now they're numbering the volunteers, all right. I'm not going that way. So that each boot is going to be numbered like 1 or 2 or left and right. And those numbers are going to be placed on slips of paper and placed into a Magic Hat. So if you have that process where you're going to use using left and right, or 1 and 2, and then placing them on slips of paper and putting them into your Magic Hat, that is going to be the 3rd check. My person didn't do that. They randomized by people, and that's not going to be the way to go here. Each person is the subject, is part of that pairing process. Okay, just like when we ate chocolate chips in class, which one you tasted first is going to be randomly assigned. All right, so the next thing that I'm looking for is the random shaking part. After you get these slips into the Magic Hat, did you shake? All right, so shaking. All right, there has to be something shaken up. All right, and in this case, you don't have to be about without replacement. I'm not actually going to be grading that because you're only going to draw 1. And that one you draw, okay, the first one that you draw, you can say that it's going to get the treatment, okay, with the waterproofing, and the other is not. Okay? So if you have a method here about the first one you draw gets the treatment of waterproofing and the other one does not get the treatment, that's going to earn you that check. Now my person right here does not have that, so I am not going to give them credit for that. Now, there might be right stuff here, but remember, I'm grading based on what I've taught you how to do, and that is the magic hat method. All right? The AP reader will, if you chose something differently than that, they're going to read through it and they're going to see if it's a plausible randomization technique to get it done correctly. But right now, I'm grading based on my grading rubric. Okay? So in this case, there were, all right, let's see what next that we're looking for. All right, now what I need to next say is we're looking for after 6 months, we're going to hire an expert to measure and compare the water damage. I want to make sure that the information there about what the response variable here that we're measuring is going to be, all right, the water damage is the response variable. If you have that, give yourself a check. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we have. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 checks right here. All right. And my person got 1, 2 out of that 6. All right, you figure out what you got for this particular problem. Okay. Now the second part B, could your design be double-blinded? Okay. The answer is yes. Give yourself a check for yes. And there's 2 components you're going to need to make sure that you refer to. That the person wearing the boots, all right, doesn't know what boot was treated with what, because the problem states that the waterproofing doesn't change the appearance. All right. So, all right. So, but the, okay. All right, so I don't see anything about the person. Okay, on that particular one, I want to make sure it's very clear that the problem stated that the waterproofing does not change the appearance of the boot, so that means the person that's wearing them does not know which one they got. Okay, but what did happen in here, the third check is going to be, is it possible to be double-blinded? Does the researcher or the evaluator, can we make them not know? And the answer is yes. Whoever evaluates it does not need to know which one is which. They're just evaluating based on the water damage. And that is something that this person talked about, it being that the evaluator doesn't know, it has an unbiased evaluation of the damage on the boots. So this is worth 3 points right here. 2 out of 3 is what this person got. Okay, and so that means overall this was worth 9 points. All right, so my person got 4 out of 9, put a box around it, and we finished grading the matched pair design boot problem.